Hello and welcome to another episode of Diet Culture Can Fork Off. Today I'm going to talk about the impact of yo-yo dieting because it is that all or nothing mindset that I come across so often with people that I talk to, either on the DMs or in messages, and also my clients before they start with me as well. Because most women I speak to, they are affected by this in some way or form. So I mentioned in my diet culture episode about the impacts of being exposed to the thin ideal, and that the research shows that you are more likely to diet and be stuck in these cycles if you have been exposed to those ideals. And obviously, if you're here and you're listening to this and you have been, then you have probably been affected by that in some way or form as well. So it does you no good in the long run to be stuck in these cycles. Like, if you are someone that yo-yo diets, like you're either on or off a diet that's been going on for years, it not only does it affect your long-term health, but it does affect your mental well-being too. Because each time you go around that cycle, you do install that thinking that you fail. Like, you can't stick to anything, nothing works for you because, like, you know, it's not true, like, as well. Like, and that's what I really want to help you understand. It's like, if you are someone that has been stuck in these cycles, if you're someone that's going yo-yo dieting, someone that has that all or nothing thinking, it's definitely not you, okay? It's because these strict diets are designed to be, like, they're not designed to be kept up long term. Like, and what is missing is how to sustain a balanced lifestyle. Because, as you know, you probably see, like, and I know it's this time of year as well, when those like 6 week shreds start coming, those diets, lose X amount of pounds in X amount of weeks, or like, I don't know, like any kind of diet, I don't know, there's loads out there. Anyway, you might have been on them before, you might have done it before, you might be considering to do it again. But the truth is, if you cannot keep it long term, those things do not work, and they start to install this belief that you always fail or you can't stick to anything, because those are not designed to teach you how to actually sustain this kind of lifestyle. It's very much like in the moment. We're not actually teaching you how to break those cycles at all. Because honestly, I truly believe, and this is something I help my clients do, is help you realize that a healthy lifestyle should just be part of your life, okay? It shouldn't be something you can't do without thinking about it 24/7. Like, and this is why I talk about identity and values and mindset coaching so much, because you need to reframe all that diet culture thinking, because it should just be like, this is who I am, this is what I do now, do you know what I mean? Should be just like part of your life. And honestly, when I see this come through on clients' check-in forms and they're like, oh, I'm not even thinking about it anymore, this is just how I live, this is just what I do, I like the person that goes to the gym or the person that gets up and does my exercises at home. I'm not even really thinking about food anymore. Like, I've lost weight and I don't ever feel like I'm on a diet. That is absolutely like that's the feedback I get from my clients. Like, because this should be something you should just be able to do. Like, it shouldn't feel like a chore. And if it is, it means that something's not quite clicking, nothing, like something's not quite right, and you're going against the grain, if that makes sense. But it could be to do with the type of program is too restrictive. It could be that it doesn't fit around doesn't consider your time, your lifestyle, your other responsibilities that you have in your life. Or it could be that, you know, the reframing and the rewiring around your mindset isn't there. But there are different things that can be involved. Anyway, I know it does sound like the dream. You're like, right, okay, you're saying all this, like, but really, I don't know if it'll work for me. And I can tell you now, so many of my clients said that before starting with me, because they've been stuck in these cycles and they're like, yeah, but what's going to make this different? Why is this going to work for me? You know, because it does sound like a dream. Because you're like, okay, if you're so like, and I never thought that I'd get to this place, that I'd have this freedom, that I don't stress about working out or food anymore, that it's just like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. And that's exactly how, that's how it should feel. And I know that sounds like a dream, and I know it sounds impossible, but like I said, this is how I live my life, and it's how my clients do too. And they didn't think it was possible at the beginning either. Like, you could just like go and check out the story. If you don't believe me, go check out stories, and you can see my reviews on Google as well. But I like, this is like a theme. It honestly is a theme, like throughout the stories, or the client stories that I share on my Instagram, on my social media, and you can see from the reviews as well. People saying, I didn't know if it's going to work for me. I've been stuck in cycles, but actually this is a lifestyle change. It's completely transformed my lifestyle, which makes me incredibly proud, because that's exactly what I want to do, because you shouldn't have to live like this. So I want to dive in a bit more. I'll have to shut up about like that, because I will bang on, because I get so excited about telling these kind of stories. But anyway, I want to dive into a bit more about like yo-yo dieting. So yo-yo dieting is often driven by a very rigid thinking, like the ideal weight, the perfect diet kind of thinking. So when you do adopt these kind of all or nothing approaches, the stakes can feel very high. You put that pressure on yourself. I need to get to X amount of weight. I need to do this before I can feel good, or feel good in myself, or I'm worthy. So when you do feel like you have slipped up, like maybe you gained a bit of weight, or maybe you had a meal that you feel like you shouldn't have, bad food, you feel like you failed. And that just reinforces this further dieting. Oh, I've got to start again on Monday. I've got to start again next month. I'll start again next, January, which comes up a lot, because you're putting yourself into like very rigid thinking. And that's what I want you to really think about, that all or nothing, labeling things as good, as bad. So as soon as you have piece of chocolate, piece of cake, things happen, like right now, obviously lots of food noise around this Christmas period, you feel like you slipped up and you feel like you failed, because you're too restrictive in your way of thinking. And that's not your fault, because that is what diet culture taught us. It's interesting, like, I'm going to go off, as I usually do, on a tangent here. I was having this conversation with a client the other day about, she was beating herself up around certain foods, and we talked about it, and she was like, oh, well, I really like a sandwich at lunch, and that's just bad. Like, that's bad. And I was like, well, why is it bad? A sandwich can be absolutely part of a balanced diet, and maybe we can think about how to add more fruit and veg into your day in different ways. And we had a big conversation about it. I was like, same with like, I love pasta. I talk about it a lot, actually, don't I? Like, pasta is another one that everyone thinks is bad. And, even like decent home cooked meals that we like, traditional meals, we've got come into this thinking that they're bad and unhealthy, and they're absolutely not. And that's again because diet culture told us we have to have low carb, fat free, and you know how I feel about this. So sometimes we're like, even thinking about those foods, we have very rigid thinking around it. I will tell you as well, by the way, when we discussed this food thing, and she's now, we had this talk about traditional meals, she's gone into this, like, the next week feeling a lot more at ease with food, not stressing over it. She was getting basically bored of what she deemed as healthy food, but that was the whole way of it. But anyway, if you don't feel stressed and you feel at ease around food, again, that makes, you don't feel like you're on a diet, and you're eating like a sustainable, like, what am I trying to say? I can't say it, like, well, a sustainable diet, basically, because diet is what you eat, it's not what the diet culture told us it is. Anyway, but yeah, she now feels in a much better place with food just because of that conversation, because she's no longer labeling these things as bad. So yeah, again, it's just, it comes down to this, like, very rigid mindset about what foods we should and shouldn't eat. And when you do eat the foods that you have put into that bad category, you feel like you failed straight away. And that actually, like, the psychological studies around it show how this can really feed into distress, it can feed into shame and binge behaviours from emotional eating as well. So you can see the cycles here, like, you have this all or nothing approach, you set yourself these really high standards. I'm not eating this. This is bad food. I'm only eating like clean, healthy diet. However, you slip up, you feel like you failed, you then feel stressed, you feel shame, you feel guilt. That brings on emotion, so then you can emotionally eat. And then it brings on the cycle again. So let's talk health, okay? Because these are yo-yo dieting as well. They, in the long term, they can affect your weight and usually weight gain. Okay, so every time you go through this lose weight, regain weight, it does affect your cardiovascular system. So, you know, it's putting repeated stress on the heart as well. So, you know, this obviously does affect your health, and it can increase the risk of CVD in yo-yo dieters. So this is why it's really important. Yeah, and this is talking about quite, I guess, jumping up and down in weight. This is, but also, like I said, there's the cycle, that's like physical side of it, but there's the emotional cost as well. Like repeated dieting, like every time you go around that like cycle and every time you feel like you've failed, it does break you a little bit more. It really hurts your self-esteem. It increases life dissatisfaction. It makes that like emotional eating cycle worse. You lose confidence in yourself. You don't trust yourself anymore, and you feel like a failure. So if you're someone that's been stuck in that yo-yo cycle, that might really resonate with you, feeling exactly that. And that's why right now you go like, well, what's the point in trying anything else, because nothing ever works. Because you've lost the trust in yourself, you've lost the confidence in yourself, and you're feeling like a failure. But it's not you that's failed, it's those diets that failed you, because they haven't taught you the emotional, psychological side of breaking these yo-yo diets, okay? Breaking that all or nothing mindset, breaking the perfectionism, because that's exactly what the missing link is for a lot of people. And I know, like, if you've been following me for a while, if you've been listening to my podcast, I do bang on about mindset a lot, but I cannot get across how important it is that whatever you do, like if you're thinking now, like coming into January, you want to start something new, you want to start working on yourself, maybe it's again, maybe it's like, right, no, I need a different approach. Please make sure that that does include something around mindset coaching, whatever, you know, it may be. There's a lot of good coaches out there. It doesn't have to be with myself. Find someone that you connect with. It's really important. Someone that you get on with, because you'll get more out of a program if you connect with that person and you feel like you can open up to them and talk to them about anything. That's something that's really important to me and my clients, that we have open conversation. I will never ghost people. Like, it drives me nuts when I hear people talk about coaches that do that. I'm big on booking calls with my one-to-one clients. I'm always talking about, like, let's book in a call, let's talk about this, because to me that is really, really important. It's really important to feel like they have trust to open up to me about this. So, because that's where you're gonna have that work around the mindset side. Someone that understands you, understands your lifestyle, sees you as a whole person, not just like, here's a workout program and his nutrition plan, because that isn't going to break this cycle. Okay, like I said in the diet culture episode, you cannot out diet a poor relationship with food, and you can't out exercise a poor relationship with your body. You need to do the inner work alongside to break that cycle. And that's why I have so many tools inside Empower, like how to break emotional eating, how to break the all or nothing mindset, so many. And like I said, and having conversations about it too. And that's why my clients leave never feeling like they're on a diet, breaking this cycle and feeling free from food noise and negative self-talk. That's why it's so important to break these cycles, because you can do it. You absolutely can do it, okay? You just need the right support. And like I said, you just need to find someone that you connect with that can break this for good, because it can happen, okay? So obviously I talked about my one-to-one coaching, and I understand that isn't accessible for everyone. So that is why I did create my new 6-week program, Misfits, because I want to help more of you. I want to help more of you break these cycles. So I have included a course to do this, to talk about the mindset side, emotional eating, how to break perfectionism, what to do about like the nutritional foundations, because like I said, don't give meal plans. It's all about finding what works for you, how to like balance calories across the week, how to like eat mindfully so you're not tracking, how to like navigate, you know, when you're having meals out. All that is included as well. As well as an exercise program, on-demand workouts, and some nutritional like guidance and calorie targets if you should want them as well, because I do want to help more of you. I'm so passionate about, it really upsets me when people tell me that they've just given up on themselves and that they think nothing will ever work. What's the point of trying? Because I'm like, you absolutely can, you just need the right support. So this is why, you know, I wanted to be able to reach out to more of you and help more of you, because it's really, really important for me to do that. So if you are interested in either one-to-one or this new Misfit program, there are limited spaces on both, because obviously I want to be able to coach best I can and give everyone the time that they deserve. So I'll drop the links for both below. There are limited spaces on the Misfit program, and it starts on the 5th of January. But if you do sign up now, you get a free guide to help you through the Christmas period. If you are interested in one-to-one, again, that's where we'll jump on a phone call and have a little chat about it. But you can book that in through the links below. If you have been thinking about coaching and you're unsure about how one-to-one looks, then the Misfit program is a great way to see what it's all about as well. So I cannot wait to help you. I cannot wait. I hope this episode has helped you understand a bit more about why you may be stuck in yo-yo cycles and maybe the way out as well. Like I said, if it's not with me, just make sure you find a coach that you connect with that can actually help you through the mindset side of this coaching as well, because it's so important. And we'll drop the links below, so if you want to check out how I can help, and I cannot wait to speak to you soon.